Peace to you guys, man. Terence Crawford talks to Danny Garcia, starts to talk that trash to Danny Garcia after Danny Garcia says, you know, we didn't see no offer, man. You want to do that, go through the right channels. Danny Garcia said, you top rank. We ain't see nothing from top rank. We ain't see nothing through our advisor, Al Heyman, through our promotional company. So that's what Danny Garcia had to answer to Terence Crawford. We ain't see nothing, man. You talking, but we ain't see nothing. So Terence Crawford responded, talking about Angel, Garcia, and stuff, just trash talking. What this means is that Terence Crawford realizes that he's going to have to promote him own self and actually push the steam to try to make something happen on the other side. Clearly, he's talking about them ducking him, which is a dumb idea. Seeing you are with Top Rank and they are all with BBC, they're just going to work with themselves, right? Clearly, they don't even study you. They don't even think about you. You're not even an afterthought. But of course, Danny Garcia had he had fought with Terence Crawford in the amateurs. Danny Garcia would have no problem scrapping with Terence Crawford. The whole point behind it is Terence Crawford is basically on ESPN. Danny Garcia is with PBC and Showtime. I'm sure that fight could still happen, but you have to go to the right. You have to go to the right channels, Crawford. You got to make it happen through the right channels. And $3 million, that's pittance, man. That's small money. Danny Garcia and them guys, they pull in that easy every year. 2 fights, they done make that money. So you ain't really saying anything to Danny Garcia to appease him. Plus, you have to go through the right channels, Terrence. Make it happen by going through the right channels. We hear about Louis Collazo. Terence Crawford would match up with Louis Collazo, but I bet you all of that is just bullshit. That's just crap. I bet you Terence Crawford ends up fighting that Lithuanian dude. Bob Arum ain't gonna let you fight outside of Top Rank, man. It's not gonna happen. Bob Arum is full of baloney. I bet you he fights the Lithuanian dude. Everybody's trying to make Terence look like he's good, and Terence is not ducking. I think that's what Terence is trying to show that. And I want to fight these guys, which is good. The problem with it is you got a boss named Bob Arum, and Bob Arum's gonna make you fight top rank fighters. He will make you pose as if you really want to fight these guys, but it's Al Heyman keeping you back. Al Heyman ain't keeping nobody back. Al Heyman makes the fighters get what they want. But I mean, you are in the dry pond, Terence Crawford. You need to do something about that. So you're gonna have to chirp away. You in the dry pond. You in top rank. You in the WBO, boy. Those other guys, they're doing well. They're making money. They're happy. And they're getting the fights they want. Danny Garcia, Adrian Granados is a pretty sturdy fight. You ain't even going to get a fight on that level. I'll be happy if you get Louis Collazo, but you ain't going to get Louis Collazo. I bet you that. At least my boy's chirping away. Poor guy. I feel sorry for him because he's like exiled. Everybody talking about Terence Crawford is the next best thing. Well, but you ain't going to be able to prove that unless you cross the pond. Manny Pacquiao for many, many years was held hostage by Bob Arum. Bob Arum was promising him the Mayweather fight, couldn't deliver. Okay? And for those people who are saying, Bob Arum, and they're trying to defend Bob, you don't defend Bob Arum. Like Ness said, you just look at the top-ranked fighters everywhere. They fight top-ranked fighters. Lomachenko fighting a top-ranked fighter, right? Pedraza signed with Top Rank. That's why he's fighting. What's his name? I forgot the dude's name. Lomachenko. That's why he's fighting Lomachenko. You guys got to open your eyes, man. Top Rank sometimes works with Golden Boy. Sometimes they don't work with. They very rarely work with Al Heyman. Al Heyman got fighters everywhere. He got fighters on the Zone. He's got fighters in PBC. He's got fighters on Showtime. He got fighters sometimes fighting on ESPN. Golden Boy fighters fighting Golden Boy fighters, whatever. Very rarely does Al Heyman's fighters fight against top-ranked fighters. Very rarely. And that's not Al Heyman's fault. Al Heyman has his fighters fighting with everybody and with different promotional companies as well. GGG versus Danny Jacobs. Al Heyman made that happen for Danny. Danny Jacobs is on the Zone. He's an Al Heyman fighter. We got some fighters that with Golden Boy, but they're Al Heyman fighters. You know what I'm saying? Al Heyman's everywhere. The only place Al Heyman's not is with Top Rank. Bob Arum. Okay. I remember when they were trying to make a fight with Pacquiao and Mayweather, Bob Arum keep on saying all kinds of crap. Eventually, Bob Arum's son said, "Man, what you trying to do? You trying to squash this fight?" Of course, Bob Arum trying to squash the fight. He didn't want Pacquiao to face Mayweather ever. Okay. So Bob Arum, yeah, that's the dude that's causing the walls to happen in boxing. Bob Arum. Okay. But if I'm not mistaken, Canelo will face Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs is an Al Heyman fighter. In fact, I heard Oscar De La Hoya said he has no problems with Al Heyman, even though they then chose to sue Al Heyman. But Al Heyman's has fighters everywhere, and Al Heyman's fighters fight everybody. Okay, so it's a lot. And Terence Crawford, though, speaking to Danny Garcia, that's a good move. It's a good look. You know, you're trying to show your intent to try and cross the pond and have some fights. But, man, Terence Crawford, going to be an uphill battle for you, buddy, because you with Top Rank. All that Bob Arum wants to really do is promote his dud of a fight, because there ain't no talent over than Top Rank right now. There's nobody to face you, Terence. You're in the wilderness of Zen. You're going to be fighting all these undefeated fighters from Lithuania and stuff. Hard to pronounce names. You might have to fight Jeff Warner 45 times. I remember Pacquiao used to face Timothy Bradley on a regular basis because there was nobody else to face, man. You know what I'm saying? The pond was dry. Pacquiao was hoping for Marquez, you know, for Brandon Rios. He was like, what? Pacquiao finally got a whole slate of fighters he could face if he wants to. Pond is rich without him. So all I'm saying is, I'm sorry for Terence Crawford. I don't know why you signed with Top Rank, but hopefully you could buy your way out of the contract or something. I honestly don't think that Bob Arum's going to let you. He's going to let you loose, boy. You're his future of his company, so you're not going to go nowhere. So you're going to have to find a way to work with Al Heyman. Somehow get Bob Arum to sign in on that idea. Errol Spence was like, Bob Arum's there. Errol Spence and all of them know what's up. They know Bob Arum ain't going to allow Terence Crawford to face none of these guys, which just sucks for Terence Crawford. But that was the same thing that happened to Timothy Bradley, if you think about it. There was all these fights going on with all these promotional companies. All right? And Timothy Bradley ain't facing none of them. Timothy Bradley never crossed the pond. You know what I mean? After he signed up with Top Rank, that was it. That's how it goes. You just think about the history of these guys. Timothy Bradley never faced nobody. Never faced Keith Thurman, never faced Sean Porter, never faced Kell Brook, never faced Errol Spence, never faced Amir Khan. And Amir Khan is an Al Heyman fighter who is free to do whatever he wants. Amir Khan fights all kinds of people. Amir Khan fought Canelo. So what I'm saying is that Al Heyman fighters do all kinds of things because Al Heyman is not a promoter. So Al Heyman leaves them free to, try to suggest a good promoter for them. If you want to do this direction, I can course correct it so you can go this direction and so on. He's great. He's a great manager. He's not a promoter. And he created this base. Free base for all fighters so they can be on television. All right. So Terence Crawford, he decided to stay with Top Rank, and they got to deal with ESPN, and their title is the WBO belt. They basically own that. And that's what's up. So if Terence Crawford feels he can cross the pond and get fights with guys across the pond, great. But we're gonna see who he fights next. Bet you is a Top Rank fighter. I bet you all the rest of the stuff is just baloney. And he's gonna end up having to face some dud. Some Top Rank dud, some European dud. He dug up from some pond somewhere. Terence Crawford, man, your life is crap. You gotta try and shake it up somehow and get these guys from across the pond to fight you, and that's gonna be hard. It's gonna be tough because they're already under one banner. So they're going to more than likely face each other because there's no complexities to that, and all the money stays in house and all of that. If you were Al Heyman fighter on the other hand, with Top Rank, oh, you'd be okay. But you're not Al Heyman fighter, so it's going to be tough for you to get fights, Terence Crawford. You may end up on the shelf rotting for 2 years. Getting fed bum of the month. Get fed bum of the month. You got much more skills than that, but this is what it is, bro. You're going to be on the shelf. You got to try and make things happen. Errol Spence came down to see you, buddy, only to find out you're joking. You ain't want to really make no fight. Errol Spence came across to find you that night. So that's how boxing goes. But I like that Terence Crawford is trying to get banter with these guys, but to try and show them up, you're going to look stupid trying to show up at Danny Garcia. That's the wrong way to go about it, but you could try. Danny Garcia don't have time to study you. Danny Garcia got a whole slate of great fights ahead of him. He already fought 2 of the best welterweights in the division. Sean Porter, who's WBC world champion. Keith Thurman's the WBA world champion. He himself being world champion himself. So, Danny Garcia don't have to study you. You're WBO. That's the most undesirable belt out there. IBF is great. That's the only belt Danny Garcia hasn't fought for, which would be Errol Spence. And hopefully by the end of the year, he face Errol Spence. If he doesn't face him this year, he face him next year. I mean, not 2019, 2020. He's looking forward to facing Errol Spence, I'm pretty sure. So what I'm saying to you guys is that don't listen to, the accusation of Terence Crawford. Everybody trying to jump on the Terence Crawford train. It's so funny, man. Bubba Arum always do this. He did it with Pacquiao and Mayweather. He did it with Antonio Margarito and Mayweather. And talk about Mayweather ducking Antonio Margarito. Why would Mayweather duck Antonio Margarito, man? I'm going to duck Antonio Margarito, face Carlos Baldomir, who has a similar style, then face Oscar De La Hoya, who's a fair dude at a higher weight class. I'm afraid of Antonio Margarito. Like really. So people, come on, man. Come on. James Floyd was afraid of Pacquiao. Pacquiao would destroy him. Yet you are the guys that didn't sign the contract about PED testing. Come on, man. All right, guys. You guys have a good one. And Terence, at least he's pleading in the win. Obviously, he wants a bite of the scraps out there. Hopefully, he gets the Luis Collazo fight, man. I'm hoping so. At least get something. You guys have a good one.